Hello friends, and welcome to your weekly elemental reading with me, Intuitive Rene. So this week we're changing things up a little bit. Instead of giving you a short reading for each sign of the zodiac, I'm going to give you a little bit longer reading for each element. Okay, I was going to say for each sign of the element, but that's not right, for each element. So we're working with fire, water, earth and air elements this week, and each one of your zodiacs do fall into those elements. Okay, and I will help you as to which element you fall into. So if you don't know, Let's Teach You will help you, will guide you through that process. There are other decks that I'm working with today because I'm going very elemental, because we're trying something different. I'm sticking with animal themed decks again, and this is my brand new deck that I've added to my collection this week, my prized possession. This is the Oak, Ash and Thorn Tarot. You'll see how absolutely gorgeous it is. I have the Spirit Song Tarot here, and I have added the Spirit Animal Oracle by Colette Baron Reid. So we've got animal themed decks here to give us some really detailed readings this week. And as always, each week there are extended readings available for everybody who is on my YouTube channel membership on the motivated tier or higher. So there will be extended readings for each one of these elemental signs as well. So if you are part of the club, you can, once you've listened to the public portion, you can get straight onto listening or watching the extended reading. So let's get straight into it. All right, so let's just explain the elements for a second. So the elements, each sign of the zodiac, each sign of astrology falls into one of the four elements. So the elements are fire, water, earth, and air. Fire signs are your Aries, your Leo, and your Sagittarius, and they are generally they've got very strong emotions. They're very enthusiastic characteristics. They're passionate. They can also be incredibly temperamental. They're definitely the achievers, and they have very interesting personalities and very interesting ways of looking at things. Then your water signs is your Pisces, your Cancer, and your Scorpios. Very refreshing. They're very charming, almost bordering on mysterious even. Generally tend to be quite private and sensitive individuals, and can be quite emotional. Okay, earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, they're your dependables. You know, those are the people that if you ever need anything, they're the ones that you can depend on mostly. They're also, because of the earth sign, they're incredibly grounded, they're reliable. They can be quite focused on material possessions or materialistic, but they're also incredibly loyal and practical as well. And then your air signs, which is your Aquarius, your Gemini, and your Libra. Now, those are your powerful and incredibly creative signs. They focus on fun. They're the idea people. They've always got ideas. They're always coming up with, always reinventing the wheel, as I like to say, always coming up with new ways of seeing, thinking, and feeling. They're also quite adventurous, and you're never a dull moment when you've got an air sign around. So fire, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Water, Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. Earth signs is your Taurus, your Virgo, and your Capricorn, and air signs is Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. So there will be timestamps in the description below to help you get straight to your element, and I do hope that you enjoy. So please do comment below and let me know how you do enjoy this week's readings. Sending lots of love. We're going to get straight into it. Hello and welcome to all my fire signs, my Aries, my Leo, and my Sagittarius. Welcome to your weekly elemental reading with me, Intuitive Rene. So as you can see, I have laid out all the cards on the table here. Unfortunately, not all of these are for you. Some of these are going to be used in the extended reading, which is available to everybody on my YouTube channel membership on the motivated tier. But for you, we have a lot of these cards we're going to go through. So we have animal theme this week, because I'm working with the elements, because I'm going quite grounded and earth-centered. I thought it'd be quite good to use animal-centered decks for your reading. So this in front of me here, the four that we have here, this is a brand new deck to my collection, one that I am so excited about. This is really such a beautiful deck. As you will see, it is called the Oak, Ash and Thorn Tarot. I have the Spirit Animal Oracle here by Colette Baron Reid, and I have the Spirit Song Tarot here as well. So we're going to look at two of these cards and your Spirit Animal, and then two of these cards and these two. So these four cards here will be for the extended reading. So let's get straight into it, fire signs. So you guys you're strong. You know, you guys are you're full of enthusiasm. You're full of positivity. You're passionate about everything that you do. You can be temperamental, but you're also the achievers. You like to get things done. You're the ones that push. And I have to say that fire signs are always very interesting. And I'm allowed to say that because I'm a fire sign myself. So let's get into it, fire signs. Let's see, what can you expect this week, for this week ahead? What can you expect, or what do you need to focus on this week? And this is our first card here. Right, so the first card we have here, and actually very interesting that this one has come out. So this isn't actually a tarot, it is an extra card that was added into the deck, and it doesn't have a name, it doesn't have a textbook answer or a textbook interpretation. But for me, it looks like we have this little mouse standing at the top here, and he's looking out, he's looking over everything that's around him, and he's looking at all the plants. He's climbed high, he has a high vantage point, he is seeing things from a higher perspective, and he's very much aware from being so high up. He can see things a lot clearer, and he can see if any danger is coming or what's coming up for him. So what can you expect, or what do you need to focus on this week, fire signs? It's about getting to the top. It's about recognizing that the higher you are, the better things are going to be. The more you are at the top, the higher you are, the better you're going to see, the better you're going to be aware of everything that's happening around you and what it is that you need to be mindful of. So your focus for this week, fire signs, is to get to the top. Get that high vantage point. Climb, climb, climb. Keep going until you get to the top. So there's certainly no taking a break for you this week. There's certainly no taking it easy, because this card's definitely saying that you need to push, you need to extend yourself, you need to not stop for anything until you have reached that point where you can feel safe, where you can feel like you're in control, where you can feel like you are at the point where you want to be, okay? Because obviously you're needing to have a bigger picture. You're obviously needing to see things the way that they are. You're needing to see things from a different standpoint almost. And the only way that you're going to do that is by climbing. Let's have a look here to see what is it that you need to be mindful of. So this is what you needed to expect, or what you needed to focus on this week. Let's see what you need to be mindful of this week for our fire signs. Okay, so what we have is the Ace of Cups. So here we have the squirrel, because all the cup suit is represented by squirrels in this particular deck. And he's looking down at this half an acorn that is sort of coming out of the water. You can see his reflection over here. All right, you can see his reflection in the water. But again, look at him. He has reached a high vantage point. So just like a little mouse, a little shrew, has reached a high vantage point to look at things, so our squirrel has done exactly the same. He's really taken his time, and he's perched himself quite safely, and he's looking for friends. He's looking for himself. He's looking for others that are like him. So the Ace of Cups talks about new relationships. It talks about connecting with others. It talks about having that heart-to-heart connection with other people. And this is telling you what you need to be careful of. So I am going to say to you, fire signs, that this week, make sure that you're seeing everything for what it is. Make sure that you're getting that full picture, okay? You don't want to be looking in one little corner only and focusing just on that corner. This is Spirit saying to you, you need to make sure that you see the full picture. And you need to make sure that what you're seeing is actually a real thing and not just a reflection or something that you're hoping or something that you're wishing for. The new person that's coming into your space, or the new people that you connect with, the people that you get to know, the people that you engage with and interact with this week, just be mindful. Just ask yourself, are they being who they really are, or are they adjusting themselves? Are they mimicking you? Are they pretending to be who you are so that they can take some kind of an advantage of you? All right, that's actually very interesting the way that's come through. So fire signs for you this week, it's really the focus. What you need to expect and what you need to focus on is getting as high up as you can, making sure that you can see everything clearly, that your view is not obstructed, that your view is not in any way blocked in any way. And you need to make sure that the people that are in your life, the people that you are interacting with, engaging with, and possibly even having some kind of a relationship with, you need to make sure that those people are real. And I don't mean that in that sense, but you need to make sure that what they're showing you, the person that they're revealing, the person that they are pretending to be, or showing themselves to be, make sure that that is actually who they are, and not just that you're seeing what you want to see. Okay, that's actually quite interesting indeed. And I do think it's quite good advice. So Spirit are definitely saying to you, this is what you need to focus on, and this is what you need to be mindful of. For the extended reading, what we have here is what you need to embrace and what you need to leave behind. And this is going to be your sort of outcome for the week. Okay, but we're going to go into this card now. So fire signs, this is just a spirit animal oracle. So let's see which spirit animal is going to be working with you and what other advice the spirit animal want to offer you this week. Oh, wow. Okay. So we've got parrot spirit, and the message from parrot spirit is to watch your words. Okay. So even though you've got that high vantage point, because remember, this is what we need to focus on, this is what we can expect this week, is that you need to work hard until you get to the top. You need to work hard until you get there. But while you're going through that process of getting there, while you are climbing, while you are achieving great things, we are being mindful, we are being aware of other people and how they show themselves to us and how they reveal themselves to us. It doesn't mean we must challenge everybody, okay? And I know fire signs, I know that can be quite challenging because we like to challenge people, don't we, fire signs? We're not afraid to poke the bear, so to speak. We need to watch our words this week. All right. So fire signs, parrot is saying to you, even though you're looking at things and wanting to get to the truth, wanting to uncover lies and deceit and whatever it may be, okay, just recognize your leadership, recognize where you're at, recognize how high up you are, recognize that your words are permanent. Okay, and this is Spirit's way of telling you to watch your words. This is Spirit's way of telling you to be very mindful and to be very cautious of what you say, when you say it, and how you say it. Because if you immediately go on, I'm going to call it go on the attack, and question everybody's motives and question everybody's beliefs and question everybody's actions a little bit too prematurely, it might come back and hurt you. So don't be doing that. Make sure that you are watching your words and speaking carefully and cautiously. Think before you speak, fire signs. And I know we burn first and then we worry about the consequences, but this week we need to be mindful, we need to be cautious of that. All right, so fire signs, I am now going to move on to the extended portion of this reading where we're going to uncover these 4 cards and to see how how the message evolves and how the message changes. I do hope my Aries, my Leo, and my Sagittarius, I do hope you all have a fantastic week. Please just pay attention, and yeah, looking forward to connecting with you during the week with lots of love. Hello, friends, and welcome to your weekly elemental reading with me, Intuitive Rene. And this particular reading is for all my water signs. Those are everybody who is Pisces, Cancerian, or Scorpio. You are all my water signs, and this is your weekly elemental reading for each one of you. So as you can see, we have got some cards laid out here on the table, which we're going to be working with. And what I'm doing is I'm doing a little bit more of a detailed reading for each one of you. So instead of doing short per sign of the zodiac, I thought actually we would do a little bit detailed, a little bit more involved, but for each element. And I certainly think it's working out quite nicely, and I hope you do enjoy it as much as I do. So let me explain to you how this is working. Because we're working with elements this week, I thought it'd be quite nice to work with all my animal themed decks. And this is a new tarot deck that I got very recently. It's the Oak, Ash and Thorn tarot, which I'm so excited about, and it is just absolutely gorgeous. So really looking forward to working with that. You can see I have got 4 questions, so we're doing a bit of a spread for you today. And the 4 questions that I have got for you here is what to expect, or what do you need to focus on for the week ahead, what to be mindful of for the week ahead, what to embrace for this week, and what to leave behind, what to not worry about. We also have an oracle deck here, which is from the Spirit Animal Oracle by Colette Baron Reed. And over here I have another 2 tarot cards, and this is from the Spirit Song Tarot, which is also just going to give us a little bit of extra information from Spirit. But all of these cards are going to be read for, let me actually rephrase that. Sorry, water signs, I'm getting my tongue twisted. For you watching here right now, for the public, we are going to look at these 2 cards and the Spirit Animal Oracle. These 2 tarot cards and these 2 cards on the end are going to be reserved for the extended reading, which is available to everybody on my motivated tier on YouTube Channel Club. So if you are part of the club, you will get these 4 additional cards added into the mix. But for everybody else, we're just going to look at those 3. Right, so water signs, let's get straight into it. So what does it mean if you're a water sign? Well, first of all, Pisces, Cancerians, and Scorpios, you are all my water signs. So your zodiac falls under that category. And it basically means that, you know, we recognize still waters run deep. We recognize that what you see on the outside or what you see on the surface is not always the same as what's happening underneath. You're also incredibly charming, also a little element of mysterious, generally tend to be quite private and quite reserved. Hold your emotions into yourself, but you also feel really deeply, whether it is on a negative emotion or a positive emotion, but you feel very deeply. But you're also quite a refreshing element. You're also quite refreshing to be around and to have around. All right, so let's get straight into it. Let's have a look here and see what can all my water signs, what can we expect, or what do we need to focus on this week? And the card we have there is the 7 of Wands. Okay, so 7 of Wands, in this particular deck, the wand suit is represented by foxes, so that's the animal that we have for you here. And the 7 of Wands says that sometimes you feel like you're backed into a corner. Sometimes you feel like everybody's attacking you and everybody's pushing you back into a corner, and you feel like you've got nowhere to go. You feel like you've got no escape, okay? So this is what you need to be, what you can expect, or what you need to be focusing on this week. So you may feel a little bit overwhelmed and a little bit caged, a little bit trapped and blocked into a corner. And what's interesting with the 7 of Wands, when that card comes up, it often says to you, be very aware that when you start feeling that emotion, when that overwhelm starts happening, when you start feeling trapped, when you start feeling caged and blocked, etc., you've got to ask yourself, you know, is that really the case? Is that really what's going on? Is everybody against me? Is everybody attacking me? Or am I just perceiving the situation that way? Because we can see the fox very clearly here. And he's got a wand in his mouth, and we have 6 other wands right here on the front of the card. But what we don't see is who's holding those wands. We don't see if it's anybody. So is it real, or is it just a perception? Are you imagining that everybody's against you? Are you believing and thinking that everybody's against you? Is that true, or is that just the way that you are imagining and perceiving your situation? So for this week, what you need to be focusing on is the way that you are responding and reacting to situations, especially when you feel like people are attacking you. Okay, so that's quite an interesting one for you this week for my water signs. And here we have, what do you need to be mindful of? So what do you need to be cautious of? What do you need to be mindful of this week? And then we have the 4 of Swords. And we have these beautiful black crows. The 4 of Swords is basically, and if you look at that black crow, he's perched, resting on a sword. You can see he's got his head tied in under his wing, which is how birds sleep, and he's taking a rest. He's taking a pause. He's not being aware of the wind that's going on around him and anything else. He's just taking a rest. And I think these two speak so well together, okay? So Pisces, Cancerian, and Scorpio, basically for this week, what do you need to be focusing on? What do you need to be, what can you expect this week? You can expect your emotions to feel like the whole world is against you. You can expect to feel like everybody's attacking you and everybody's pushing you in a corner, and feel as if you don't have choices and options. But what to be mindful of is that actually sometimes it's best to just do nothing. We need to be mindful of the fact that waiting for that right time, or waiting until you've recouped enough energy, or until you are strong enough, or until you have all the information, because the 4 of Swords is the rest. It's the card of rest. It's the card of just replenishing energy almost, but waiting for the right time before you react, before you respond, and before you work. Okay, so this is what you need to be mindful of. Instead of just reacting, okay, instead of reacting immediately, this is Spirit's way of saying to you, actually just wait. So be mindful of the fact that sometimes it's better to do nothing than to attack. Okay, so if you find yourself feeling a little bit emotionally overwhelmed this week, if you find yourself feeling a little bit emotionally backed into a corner, stuck, trapped, etc., it's almost like just sleep on it, just rest, just take a minute and just see how things unfold. Just take a minute and see how things evolve before you react, before you respond, or before you reciprocate even the emotions of what's going on around you. Okay, so that's actually quite an interesting one for you. So water signs, and also I think what it's saying to you as well, being a water sign. So as we know, what you see on the surface of the water, especially if you're outside of the water. So if you're standing at the water's edge and you're looking at the surface, it may look so beautifully calm, it may look so peaceful, it may look so tranquil, but what's happening under the water is a whole nother story. And I think this is also telling you that this week, that's the kind of situation that what you're gonna be feeling, what you're gonna be experiencing, what you're gonna be going through is quite different from what's happening under the surface. And the best thing for you to do is to just wait it out. The best thing for you to do is to just be patient and just wait to see how things unfold, to wait to see how things evolve before you respond and before you react. Okay, so here we have a spirit animal oracle by Colette Baron Reid. Let's have a look and see which spirit animal is working with you and what message the spirit animal has for you this week. Right, so we've got Nightingale spirit, and the message is love is all around. Love is all around. And I think when we are defensive, like what we have here, okay, we forget about that basic emotion of love. We forget that, if we just change our perception, instead of feeling like people are attacking you, instead of feeling as if you are backed in a corner or trapped or anything like that, just change the emotion to love. Speak about love, attract love, be love, okay? And if you can do that, and I think that's why it's telling you to pause, telling you to wait, telling you to be a little bit more just a patient, if I can almost say. Replenish your energies, focus on your energies before you react, before you respond. Love is all around you, and then you will see the situation very, very different. So I think that's actually an incredibly strong message. Okay, so water signs, just to recap, love is the answer. Love is the thing that you need to be focusing on. Love is everything. Love is all around you. Nightingale spirit is reminding you of that. When you're feeling trapped and caged and isolated, don't respond immediately. Take your time. Take your time and ponder and think and strategize and just wait to see how things play out before you respond. But just remember that this is a perception, that this is not really what's going on. It's just the way that you are perceiving and the way that you are seeing things. All right. I'm now going to move on to the extended portion of the reading, where we're going to look at what needs to be embraced in this particular situation, what needs to be left behind this week, and another further message from Spirit to help you through the week. So water signs, sending so much love and blessings to each one of you. Do have a fantastic week, and I look forward to connecting with you soon. Hello and welcome to my earth signs. Welcome to Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Welcome to your weekly elemental reading with me, Intuitive Rene. So yes, we're changing things up this week. Things are a little bit different to what you expect, what is normal. But yeah, I like changing things up, you know that. So as you can see, I have a whole lot of cards laid out on the table in front of me. And this is going to be the public reading for all earth signs, as well as the extended reading for earth signs. So we're going to do some cards for the public reading and the rest of them will be for the extended. But let me just explain, when we talk about earth elementals, when we talk about and for each one of you the earth element, what we're meaning is that your star sign or your zodiac sign falls under the element of earth, and it means that you're very grounded, you're very connected to earth, you're very dependable, you're strong, you're reliable. You also focus on the physical, you focus on the more tangible kind of things. Your personality or your emotions, you're an incredibly loyal individual, but you're also quite practical. So you're not somebody who's got their head in the clouds. That's not the way that anybody would describe you. That's not the kind of statement that you would hear. You're very earth-centered, you're very grounded, you're very stable, very secure. But that also means stubborn, okay? Think about a mountain. A mountain is incredibly stable, incredibly strong, but also the word stubborn comes to me as well. So that's for Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. So the way that I'm doing it this week is I've got quite a detailed reading or quite a detailed spread that I want to work through. And I have chosen, because we're doing elements, I thought it would be quite nice to work with animal-themed decks. And this deck over here, these 4 cards, is a new deck that was added to my collection this week. It is just truly beautiful. It is the Oak, Ash, and Thorn Tarot, and it is one that I am so excited to welcome into my connection. So we're going to do, I've got quite a nice spread for that, the questions that I'm going to ask. And then over here, I have got the Spirit Animal Oracle by Colette Baron Reid. And these 2 cards over here is the Spirit Song Tarot. Okay, so the way that we're going to do this, for all of you who are watching right now, We are going to look at what you can expect or what you need to focus on for the week ahead. We're going to look at what you need to be mindful of the week ahead. And then we're going to come through and have a look at your spirit animal oracle to see what spirit animal is working with you and what message and guidance they have for you. So those 3 cards are going to be for the public portion of this reading. And these 4 cards over here are going to be for the extended reading. And basically what we're looking at, okay, so we've got what to expect or focus on for the week ahead, what to be mindful of for the week ahead, what you need to embrace for the week ahead, and what you need to leave behind. And then with these 2 cards over here, we're getting just an additional message from Spirit. What does Spirit want all my earth signs to know for the week ahead? What is important and significant for the week ahead? And obviously for the extended portion of the reading, that is for everybody on the motivated tier of my YouTube channel membership. So if you are on the channel, if you have joined the club and have subscribed on the motivated level, then you will have access to the extended portion of the reading. And like I said, this is for all earth signs. That's Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. So let's jump straight into it and let's have a look and see what the week ahead has in store for you. So the first question we're asking is, what can you expect? What do you need to focus on? What is going to be the focus of your week ahead? And here we have the 9 of Wands. In this particular tarot deck, all the wands are shown as foxes. There are no people. So we have animals representing people. And here we have this fox, and he's lying down. I love the little heart. I'm going to call it his little heart tattoo that he has on his rear end. But shame, he's got a bandage across his head. There's a bandage on his front paw. And you can see just by the way he's lying down with his tail curled around like that, that he's needing a little bit of love. He's needing a little bit of attention. Okay, he's surrounded by all these mushrooms, so food is not an issue. Food is not something he's lacking, but he is feeling a little bit battered. He is feeling a little bit exhausted. He is feeling like it's been a really long, hard, difficult road. So for my earth signs, for Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, this is how you may be feeling this week. Okay, you may be finding things a little bit overwhelming this week. You may be feeling a little bit like, oh my gosh, I don't know how much more of this I can handle. I don't know how much more of this I can do. You may be feeling a little bit overwhelmed emotionally. So it's quite interesting that that comes through for an earth sign, where we've already said, you know, you're dependable, you're grounded, you're strong, you're practical. But you know what? Even mountains have to erupt from time to time, don't they? Okay, so this is really a card of overwhelm. This is a card of feeling like it's just a little bit too much, feeling like you just don't know how much more of this you can handle. And it's interesting, I'm suddenly noticing the mountain range in the background. Okay, so earth signs, this week could be a week of a little bit of overwhelm, a week of feeling a little bit exhausted, a week of feeling a little bit battered and bruised, a little bit tender, a little bit sensitive. Okay, so we need to be aware of that. Let's just see here what Spirit is saying. What else do you need to be aware of? What do you need to be mindful of? And we have this beautiful wolf, and he is the Justice card. And the Justice card is basically saying to you, you know, okay, before I say that, I want you to look. He's got all these stones very particularly balanced all around him, okay? And the slightest wind, the slightest movement, if he coughs, if he hiccups, if he sneezes, anything that he does could tip the balance that he's got going here. And that's exactly what the Justice card is. It's about recognizing that balance is such a fine thing between being stable and being completely disjointed and collapsing. All right. So he is very strong. He is very in control. He's very confident, but he also knows that at any minute, slightest bit of wind could throw all his stones completely out of balance. All right. So earth signs, what we're saying to you, what Spirit is saying to you, is recognize that it's been a long road. Recognize how exhausted you are, how tired you are, how emotional it's been. Okay, so we don't just mean, because there's bandages, we don't just mean that there's physical. All right, it's more mental, emotional, spiritual even. So Spirit is saying, let's be mindful, let's be aware, let's be honest with what we're feeling and what we're going through and what we have been through, what's brought us to this place. But Spirit is saying as well, we need to just be aware of, you know, how sensitive the scales are, how sensitive the balance is. And we need to recognize that the slightest movement could completely overthrow the balance and completely push things in the other direction. And this is where you are. You are at that very precarious kind of level in trying to recognize what you are, who you are, and what you're dealing with. All right. So earth signs, gosh, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, just be very aware of the energies around you this week. Just be very aware that, things might seem to be going okay, but then one little thing happens, and it could be just a tiny little thing that completely throws the balance out. And once the balance is thrown out, you're going to have to start all over again and build it up. So this is going to be the pattern for the week ahead for you. Let's have a look and see from the Spirit Animal Oracle what spirit animal is working with you this week and what message do they have for you for our earth signs. Oh wow, we have the beautiful hawk spirit. Love, love, love the colors in this card. And the message is to let spirit be your guide. So even we recognize, okay, so this is spirit saying to you, we recognize how you're feeling. We recognize the overwhelm. We recognize the emotional exhaustion. We recognize that you're fed up, you're done. Okay, we recognize that. But spirit is saying that there is a fine balance with everything. There is a fine line between right and wrong. There's a fine line between giving up and finishing. Because with the Nine of Wands, that's the other thing that always comes through with this card, is that nine is the end. It's reaching the culmination. It's achieving everything. It's doing everything. Okay, but nine also says that you're so close to the end. You're so close to completing and finishing and achieving the things that you need to and the things that you want to in life. So justice is saying it's such a fine line between giving up and finishing and being successful. And hawk spirit is saying, let spirit be your guide. They're saying to you, look up, because where do we see the hawks? Where are the hawks? They're up in the sky. They're flying above our heads. So instead of looking down and feeling down, this is spirit's way of saying, look up. This is spirit's way of saying, look up, look up in the sky and see spirit. See that they're there for you. See that they're helping you, and recognize that everything in life is just such a fine, fine, fine balance. All right, so earth signs. I'm now going to move on to the extended portion of the reading. I do hope that you consider joining the YouTube channel membership, because I think this reading is going to get quite interesting when we reveal these other 4 cards. But in the meantime, I do wish you everything of the best. Have an awesome week with love and blessings from my heart to yours. Take care. Hello and welcome to my air signs being Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. Welcome to your weekly elemental reading with me, Intuitive Rene. And as you can see, we have changed things up a little bit this week. So normally I do taroscopes for each sign of the zodiac, and this week I thought we would try doing it with just the elements. So I have done a reading for the fire signs, the water signs, the earth signs, and now this one for your air signs. So air signs being Aquarius, Gemini, and a Libra. And I do hope that you're going to enjoy the format, and I look forward to hearing from you. So what does it mean to be an air sign? Well, first of all, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra, you are air signs, okay? So that is the element of your sign. And that basically means that, if you think about air, the wind that blows, look how powerful you are. I think wind is probably one of the most powerful elements that we have, air is in particular. You're also very creative and fun, because you can be quite whimsical about the way that you do things, but you're also constantly reinventing yourself, and you're taking people by surprise all the time. Quite adventurous, quite exciting. You're full of ideas. Your mind is always going, because your mind is associated with the element of air as well. So all our Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra, you guys are always reinventing and always being creative and coming up with new ways of doing things. And I think that's why I wanted to try and do the taroscopes as such for all of you combined, because your energies are so similar. So what I have here on the table in front of me is a brand new tarot deck that I received recently, a new one to my collection. It's the Oak, Ash, and Thorn Tarot. It is just exquisite, but it is an animal-only deck. So because of that, I have chosen animal-only decks as well to complement it. So the way that I'm doing it this week is I've got quite a detailed reading, a spread that I want to work through. So we're going to start off here with what to expect, or what you can focus on for the week ahead, and what you need to be mindful of, what you need to be careful of for the week ahead. And then over here, this is from the Spirit Animal Oracle by Colette Baron Reid. We're going to have a look and see which spirit animal is working with you and what message they have for you this week. So those 3 cards are going to be available to everybody. That's the public viewing of the reading. And then these 4 are going to be reserved for my YouTube channel members on the motivated tier onwards. So they're going to get the extended reading, and the extended reading is going to have, so what to expect or focus on, what to be mindful of for the week ahead, what to embrace for the week ahead, and what to leave behind in the week ahead, as well as the Spirit Animal Oracle. And then here I have 2 cards from the Spirit Song Tarot, and that's just an additional message from Spirit. So what else does Spirit need you to know? So these 4 cards are going to be reserved for everybody on my motivated tier of my YouTube channel members. So if you would like to see how that reading unfolds, please do consider joining the club. All right, let's get straight into it for my air signs. Let's see, what can you expect, or what do you need to focus on for the week ahead? And we have the 8 of Wands. Oh, look how beautiful that card is. I love this deck. It is so exquisite. So the 8 of Wands, its key word is movement. Its key word is change. It's progress, okay? So those 8 wands that we see in the sky, and I'm loving all the bees, okay? And we all know that bees are prosperity. Bees are about honey. It's about magic. It's about beauty. It's about, sweetness in life. And here we have our fox sitting amongst all these beautiful flowers, all the colors and everything, and he's looking at things change. What the 8 of Wands also says to you is that the change has already been set in motion, okay? The movement and the change that this card is talking about, that is your focus for the week ahead, it's already been set in motion. So you've already initiated it. It's already started. Now you've just got to wait. You've just got to wait for those ones to land. You've got to wait for them to come in. And their destination, their journey, where they're going to end up, all of that has already been predetermined. It's just a case of waiting for it to come into play. So for the week ahead, it's almost like you don't have to do anything, okay? So for my air signs, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra, we're basically saying that for the week ahead, you don't necessarily have to do anything. You don't necessarily have to initiate or change anything. Everything's already set. Everything's already there. You've got to just be patient and wait to see how it unfolds, to see where it lands, or to see what comes of the things that you've already set in motion. Let's just have a look and see, what do you need to be mindful of for the week ahead while we're patiently waiting? What do we need to be mindful of? What we have here is the 10 of Wands. So we've got the 8 of Wands, sorry, and the 10 of Wands. So the 10 of Wands, you can see here, he's exhausted, okay? It's been a long, hard day. He's gone and he's found himself a little safe place to curl up, and he's gone to sleep. He's got all his wands lying just, I'm going to call it haphazardly, lying in front of him. I say that because this one's half in the water even. But there's a chance he could lose it. There's a chance that, with a bit of a ripple or a bit of a wave, that he could lose his hard work and everything that he's worked so hard for. So for you this week, there's not, even though both of these are wands, and wands energy is about movement and action and adventure. But when I look at these two, they're both actually just saying, you know what, just exhale. How's that for for air, telling air to exhale, let that air out, okay? This is not a week of things are happening, things are changing, progress is taking place, advancement is happening, and it's really a case of just waiting for it to manifest, waiting for it to come in, and recognizing that you've done a lot. You've done everything that you need to. You've worked hard, you've accomplished so much, and it's like coming full circle, okay? And it's interesting how I see the circle there. And the 10, when we get to the 10, we generally revert back to the 1 again. So it is about culmination, achievement, completion almost, but there's definitely an element of patience that's here. And I know for my air signs, patience is maybe not your virtue. I know patience is maybe not your strongest feature, okay? Because you're all about creativity and fun and adventure and excitement and power and all of those kind of things. But the energy that's coming through here with these is definitely saying to you, you've already done the work, you've already put the effort in, you've already pushed the start button. Things are already in motion. You've just got to wait for it to come into fruition. And we need to recognize how exhausted you are. You need to recognize how long and hard this journey, this road has been, and recognize that when you do reach the end, when you do achieve all the things that you want and all the things that you need, the exhaustion is going to be there quite strong. All right, I want to have a look and see now, Spirit Animal Oracle, which spirit animal is working with you, and what message does the spirit animal have for all my air signs today? We have got, Dear Spirit, bring a gentle touch is the message. And really, because that's what deers are. We know how skittish they are. We know how the slightest little bit of noise and they're going to run off. The slightest bit of noise and they're going to bolt, okay? Not like our foxes, who are quite brave and curious and courageous is the word I was looking for. Dear Spirit is saying you need to be gentle with yourself, and I get it, because with the Eight of Wands, with us being a little bit impatient, with us not always having a big dose of patience to work with, Dear Spirit is saying just be gentle with yourself. You need to wait. There is nothing more that you can do on the particular situation. There is nothing more that you can do to change your circumstances. You've just got to go with the flow. Just go with the flow and know that the end is close, that you are achieving the end of whatever it is that you're working towards, and there will be a chance to rest. It's coming up for you because it's necessary. It is absolutely necessary. This exhaustion that you're feeling, this feeling of just overwhelm almost. I really get that kind of sense of, can I just sleep for a week? Okay. And I honestly, I'm going to say to you, air signs, if that's an option for you, it wouldn't be bad. If you could sleep for a week, I would maybe suggest that. I would maybe suggest that. It wouldn't do you any harm, because, again, there's nothing much that you can do with regards to your current situation. I also suddenly noticed something. We've got the Eight of Wands, we've got the 10 of Wands, and we've got card 18. So 8 plus 10 gives you 18. And I also am going to say, if we do the 1 and the 8, the 8 and the 10, we add them together, it gives us a 9, and 9 is about completion, attainment. It's the last of the single digits. So there's a lot of exhaustion. There's a lot of feeling of, sure, it's been a tough one. All right. So Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra, be gentle with yourselves. Be gentle with yourselves and recognize that you've done everything that you need to. And now it's time to replenish your energies. Now it's time to breathe. Take that air into your lungs and just breathe. All right. So air signs, I'm now going to move on to the extended portion of this reading, where we're going to look at these 4 cards as a continuation of the spread, as a continuation of the reading. This is for everybody on my YouTube channel membership on the motivated tier. They will have access to this extended reading, and I do hope that you consider joining. I do hope, for a small monthly fee, I do hope that you consider joining and getting access to the extended reads. Have an awesome week with love and blessings from my heart to yours. Take care.